Exclusive releases, limited runs, convention editions, and timed toy releases all suck. But I had to try one, and I got a monster of a win. Thanks for coming back to PopCon. I'm Victor, your Gen X host, and as such, I mourn the days of toy aisles bursting at the seams with every imaginable action figure, ripe for the picking, with no assortment issues or product availability problems. It was just all there in every department store. I can't be bothered with all of this teasing and this waiting to pounce on time release shitty way to do business. But this time I had to try, and I was there at the release date and time, and shockingly, I got myself one of these. Grizzlor! Nice box, isn't it? I mean, it surprises me with having this gorgeous sketch work done of Grizzlor from the Evil Horde. So I'm really excited about it. This is, of course, the mailer box on the outside. It came in a larger box too, of course, but inside is the action figure. So, I probably could have got the figure in the made to order 2 days that came after September 9th when it was 48 hours available, but I got online at noon. I waited and I got it in seconds, and I'm so happy. So I don't know, maybe there's a difference in the packaging in the box from the ones on the 9th to the 48-hour made-to-order one. Who knows? From what I've seen so far, I'm really pleased. Want to take a closer look? This matted and wild animal member of the Evil Horde always piqued my interest. What is it with him? Because he was part of the original run of Masters of the Universe characters, he had soft goods hair because he was featured in the She-Ra cartoon, because he would complete my Evil Horde? Well, all of the above, and perhaps because being from the Pacific Northwest, I have a connection with Sasquatch-type characters. I mean, he's not exactly primate like Beastman swinging through the jungle. He does seem to have this beast-like forest guy, so maybe he is a little Sasquatch, or else maybe he's like a bear, and I do like bears. Hey, so what about that artwork, right? This is incredible. There is no individual just kind of border artwork to spotlight on the character. There's no copy. It's simply this beautiful piece of art, and when I flipped this around and I saw Grizzlor and the Fright Zone getting the upper hand on our gal She-Ra, I knew this was something special. And boy, do I hope that they do not have the same thing on the made-to-order ones, just to make this even more special, right? It is wonderful. Now on the front, we get the normal kind of look there, but we do have Grizzlor, the hairy henchman of the Evil Horde, and that he is. So I want to open this now. It's time to get it open, but I will be gentle. As gentle as I can be. So let's go ahead and peel this back. But like I said, I don't know why I don't want to damage the artwork, but I don't want to damage it. It's so good. But I can see it online, so it's going away here. Of course, here he is, opened up. I'm going to smell it for that new plastic smell. And okay, the Trial of Grizzlor. Now this is the comic inside. Strangely, there is a young woman who looks like she's from the soap opera Dark Shadows running away. So we will look at that a little bit later and a little bit closer. All right, that should be fun to read. All right, so here it is. As with the other members of the Evil Horde, he has the sticker, the emblem there. Oh my goodness, there's that soft goods hair. Look at that. You can muss it up and everything. He looks awesome. I'm so excited. I don't know what it is. I've told you before. I don't know why Grizzlor is so entertaining to me, but we need to get a close look at this guy and see what he's all about, because it's time for Carousel. Grizzlor was released when changes were coming to the lineup of heroes and villains for Masters of the Universe. Hordak and the Evil Horde looked to be and were even commercialized as the nemesis to both He-Man and Skeletor, a whole nother faction. However, with the She-Ra cartoon in production, using Hordak as her main villain gave her a heavy, since Catra wasn't much on her own. Luckily, Catra officially became part of the Horde herself. Sadly, the look of Grizzlor took a wild departure from the toy, and his fur parka made him look like a ferocious Eskimo more than a wild animal. He could speak and even operate a computer, but he was still just the typical bumbling idiot. They would create toys to mirror his look, but it is not the one I'm connected to. That honor goes to this guy. As a member of the Evil Horde, he is covered in insignia. See it on his chest and even his boots and his arm. The real soft goods fur is not on any other figure, and he stands alone with that. What's not original are his weapons. The bland and rather cumbersome crossbow I've never really liked is included in green, but his axe. It's the same one as Ram Man's, but it really fits him well and looks heavy. The armband and the armor is removable if you want. He looks awesome posed, same articulation as other characters, but just he looks better, very dynamic. Articulation is like everybody else's, but he has some originality in his mold that are worth pointing out. For one, those boots are new. That's a new mold in the feet. The length of his arms we will get to. Note his fur is separate at the waist, like a fur diaper. Grizzlor's parts can be swapped with any other like the rest of the figure, so you'll see that that's kind of a glued on kind of piece of underwear, and the top is also just kind of glued onto his body parts, doesn't go onto his arms. Yes, he is scratching his ass. Unlike most of the characters, he can actually reach around that far back. This is because he shares his lower arm mold with Beastman and Stratos, the other two hairy guys. These limbs are a bit longer. See it compared here to Beastman. Now you can even note there's still a mold difference though with the bracelets on Beastman. But this long arm is rare, and as most have the same size and length like Skeletor's or He-Man's. And the upper arm is completely different. It's different shaped, and it includes a hairy detail. Strangely, the original run also had a version with a very dark face. That was the first release of MOTU Origins as a convention exclusive, and that's what we saw first. Since he was a She-Ra villain and all the She-Ra dolls came out with combs for their rooted hair, why not Grizzlor? If you want to clean him up, you can give him a comb through, but be careful, it may pull out very easily. Alright, Grizzlor is not going to an interview. This man is a savage beast and should look the part, so fluff up that wild fur. The armband being separate is unique, but be careful not to lose it. I would keep it on. I do love how it seems to have a greater range of motion in his upper arm because of its different shape. It doesn't have that huge bicep to get in the way, and the arm has greater movement than most of the other characters, which is very welcome to be sure. But this is unique and makes him more of a standout. 3 fingers. See that? Even Beastman has all 4 and a thumb, but to mirror the original paws of the 80s character and the animation model, they made this new hand mold, which is wonderful. This is another reason why I appreciate the Masters of the Universe Origins figures, is they're fearless when making new molds and the bucks for new characters, even if they will be used less frequently on future characters. Well, here he is in brutal action and looks the part. I would be frozen in fear to see this guy coming out of the Dark Forest. The simple design is effective, and he is a great addition. But wait, there's more. Hey guys, Victor here. Do you like this kind of content? Are you a huge, crazy 80s toy, 80s franchise fan like I am? I bet you are. And if so, then why aren't you clicking that like? Please tell YouTube to get this show out in front of even a broader audience. Great people like you and me. So, have you bought Grizzlor? Did you get him like I did on that first day release? Let me know in the comments, and while you're there, click the subscribe. Now let's get on with the show. Okay, before I get to the comparison with the original toy and the animation model, I want to tell you how ridiculous the pack-in comic is. I appreciate the comics, but I'm not really a fan of their writing. This is when you realize this brand is trying to attract a younger audience to the franchise, which makes total sense, and I respect that. The story is written sloppily, and it's really hard to connect. It is an infantile plot, and only the last panel ties it to anything of the greater story. Yes, that is Princess Adora. It is like her origin story to join the Horde as the Force Captain. So overall, it's a little cringeworthy, and a one flip through is all it needs. You know how this works? I love a comparison, so I wait here to the end where I take this new product, this 2022 Masters of the Universe Origins Grizzlor figure, and I compare him to the original from the mid-80s. Member of the Evil Horde Grizzlor. This is original action figure back in the 80s. Very, very similar, definitely, but that big fuzzball has taken a big change, at least to me, a worthwhile change in the design, the execution. Of course, it's always the articulation, but even just in his design overall, I really appreciate it. Now you can see it against his animation model as well, where they really departed the figure for the animation, which I didn't love. Now they have made toys of it, I mentioned, and they made other incarnations of Grizzlor as well. They made him in the 2000X design, but they did it in a staction figure at the end of the series, kind of a statue. And then of course the classics did it as well. Now Reaction has made it, as well as Super 7 in the design of the animated show, but that's not what I was connected to. I was connected to the original look of that action figure. That's what I got. That's what I'm sticking to. He's just cool. Grizzlor was different. No other character had this bear ape-like look with that real fur and that primal animal style and feel. Nope, not even Beastman could pull it off. Grizzlor wore it better. So here is the necessary celebrity deathmatch, right? Who's gonna win? You let me know who you think. So yeah, he was a must-have. Since seeing that blackface version of the character as that convention exclusive with the other Hordak and the Horde Trooper, I was ready for when this OG character went on mass retail. However, Mattel went another direction, but I am so glad I went for it. And now, he's part of my collection. There you have it, and I'm sure Modulok is coming. But right now, that completes the original Evil Horde for my collection. Now, if they would just make a Catra in the Origins line, I know they got another one, but you know, I probably could just grab an original She-Ra action figure on eBay. I'm serious, because she'd probably go great along with this kind of look from Origins. What do you guys think? All right, so do you have Grizzlor? Like I said, did you buy him in the original September 9th day at noon, or did you wait for the made to order? And if you got a made to order, please let me know in the comments when you receive it, if it's got the same She-Ra artwork, if it's a little bit different. I'd love to know if there was something special, although I did rip up mine. Well, even though it's getting crowded up there on my toy shelf, I'll make more room. So I hope you liked this show, and I hope you liked Grizzlor and this content, and thanks for coming to PopCon. For those of you who've already liked, subscribed, and commented, I really appreciate it. It really helps me out a lot. But if you like this and you haven't, go ahead. What are you waiting for? There's a bunch of great content and tons of Halloween content coming up this season. Thanks for helping me get all of my favorite franchises from the 80s up on my toy shelf and coming to PopCon. A salute to all pop culture, but mostly the 80s. Until next time.